Hey there, welcome. So today we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's literally all around us, our environment. We're going to break down what it is, how it all fits together, and, why it feels like everything is changing so fast. All right, let's dive in. So right off the bat, let me ask you something. Have you actually noticed your world changing? I mean, really think about it for a sec. Maybe that park you used to play in as a kid? Yeah, now it's a huge apartment complex. It's a story we hear all the time, right? And it's those little changes, the ones right in our own backyards, that are clues to a much bigger story. Okay, so to get a handle on all these changes, we got to go back to basics. And the most basic question is, what even is the environment? You might be surprised, but the answer is super simple, and it's right under your nose. It is, quite literally, everything around you. And what's really cool is where the word comes from. Environment actually comes from this old French word, environner, and all it means is neighborhood. Seriously, that's it. So when we talk about your environment, we're talking about your neighborhood, your school, the local market, even the desk you're at right now. The people, that empty field down the street, it's all part of it. And this is so important. The environment isn't just some pretty background scenery for our lives. No way. It's our actual life support system. It's giving us the air we're breathing right now, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the ground we're standing on. Put it this way, without it, we're not here. Period. Okay, so if it's everything, that's a lot, right? How do you even begin to wrap your head around something that big? Well, what we do is we break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Think of them as the building blocks of our world. It basically boils down to three main components. First up, you've got the natural stuff, air, water, land, all the living things. Then there's the human-made stuff, everything we've built, roads, buildings, factories, you name it. And last but not least, there's the human part. That's us, our families, our communities, how we all live together. Now, if we zoom in on that natural part, we can split it into two categories. You've got biotic, which is just a fancy word for all the living organisms like plants and animals. And then you have abiotic. That's all the non-living stuff like the land itself or the water. And the key thing to remember is these two are always interacting. They need each other. And we can go even deeper. The natural world has four major domains. So you've got the lithosphere. That's the solid earth, the ground we walk on. Then the hydrosphere, which is pretty easy. It's all the water, rivers, lakes, oceans, the whole deal. The atmosphere is that super important, fragile blanket of air that protects us. And right where those three overlap, you get the biosphere. That's the magic zone, the sweet spot where all of life exists. So we've got all these different pieces, right? Land, water, air, living creatures. But here's the thing. None of them operate on their own. They're not in separate boxes. The real magic, the secret sauce, is how they're all connected. So let's talk about how everything actually works together. And that brings us to a really important idea, the ecosystem. All an ecosystem is a community where all the living things are interacting with each other and with all the non-living things around them. It's a huge web of connections, of dependencies. It's all about how energy flows from one thing to another. And trust me, ecosystems are everywhere. You could have a massive one, like a huge lush forest in Kerala, just packed with plants and animals. Or it could be a giant desert in Jaisalmer with camels and snakes that are perfectly built for that environment. Heck, even a tiny pond is its own little world, its own bustling ecosystem with ducks and fish. So what's the big takeaway? Every living thing, and I mean every living thing, absolutely depends on its surroundings to make it. Okay, so if everything is this one big interconnected web, then why are things changing so fast? Why does it feel like it's all being shaken up? Well, you probably guessed it. The answer has a lot to do with us, with humans, and how our needs have changed over time. This is where we get into the story of human impact. Think about it. Early humans, they just adapted to nature. They lived with it. But then things started picking up speed. We invented the wheel, which meant we could grow more food than we needed, and that led to trade. Then boom, the Industrial Revolution hits, and suddenly we can make things on a massive scale. And now, in our world of instant everything, communication, transportation, our power to change the planet is just off the charts. And what's the result of all this progress? Well, the things we do every day, the fumes from our cars, the factories that get built on what used to be open land, all of it is constantly changing and sometimes, even destroying the very systems that keep us alive. So, where does that leave us? What are we supposed to do with all this information? Well, the goal isn't to hit rewind and go back in time. It's about finding a smarter way to go forward. It's really a call for something simple: balance, a way to live in harmony. And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? We need to find that sweet spot, that perfect balance between the natural world and the world that we've built. We've got to figure out how to live here in a way that works for us and for the planet, for the long haul. You know, there's actually a day for this every year, a global reminder. Every June 5th is celebrated as World Environment Day. It's a whole day just to stop and think about, you guessed it, the importance of finding that balance. So, I want to end by bringing this all the way back to you where we started. Next time you're out and about, just take a look around your own neighborhood and think back. Maybe a few years, maybe to when you were a little kid. What's one thing you notice that's different now? Just thinking about that. That's the first step. That's how we start to understand our own little part in this big changing world. Thanks for tuning in.